So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to do a negative stain. Negative staining is different from our other staining procedures in that it actually stains the background, the slide, instead of the cells themselves. And negative staining works really well when you want to see the size or certain structures of the bacteria, and it also works really well to see the arrangement of the bacteria. To do a negative stain, you need to obtain two clean microscope slides. One will be the slide that you actually use for the stain, and the other is a spreader slide, similar to how you do with a blood smear. The stain that we use for a negative stain is nigrosin, although there are several other kinds of stains that you can use. Nigrosin has the same charge as a bacterial cell. It is negatively charged, meaning that it is actually repelled from the bacteria. So when you do a negative stain, you end up seeing the cells as areas of clear or lightness on a darkened background. To do a negative stain, you are first going to put one drop of stain on the end of one of your slides. You just need one drop, you don't need a lot of stain. You are then going to take your loop, incinerate it, and then aseptically pick up bacteria. With a negative stain, you do want to have more bacteria than you do with a gram stain. With a negative stain, you end up smearing the bacteria all the way across the whole entire slide, so you thin them out much more. So because of that, it can be better to start with more cells than you typically do in a gram stain. So once you've incinerated your loop, take a plate, take a nice sample of cells, and then you are going to mix them directly into that drop of nigrosin. Mix the cells really well. You can kind of spread it out a little bit in that area, and make sure that you break up any clumps that you have. When your cells are well mixed, incinerate your loop again to kill off any bacteria that are still on your loop. And then you are going to use your spreader slide to spread that drop of nigrosin with bacteria all the way across your slide. So you take your spreader slide, move it into the drop of nigrosin, allow it to wick across the edge of the slide, and then use that slide to pull that drop of nigrosin all the way across the slide. And then you're going to let the stain air dry on the slide. Again, there's no heat fixing with this, so with this you have to allow a little bit of extra time for the air drying. When you do a negative stain, you are smearing this drop of stain all the way across the slide, which means that some areas will be darker than others. When you look at your slide, you want to look towards some of the lighter areas. Here is a slide I did earlier, and you can see that some parts are very dark, whereas others are light. And when you look at a negative stain under the microscope, you want to go with more of the intermediate areas than the really dark areas. It can be hard to see your cells there.